Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Story on the Spot. Hello, everyone. My name is Jim Heskett, and going around clockwise from what I can see is Mr. Nick Thacker. It says Thack Attack, because he still hasn't learned his lesson about marketing. Kevin Tumlinson, R.A. McGee, and our special guest, David Wood. Hey, Dave, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Pretty good. We should have made a custom graphic for you to show up, but afraid I don't. Let me throw this up there. Story on the spot.live. That's where you can go to find out more about our show. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'll explain the rules real quick. What I'm going to do is to read a story prompt based on a news article, and then we're going to go around and everyone will have a chance to pitch a story. Dave might sit out, but he also said in the pre-show meeting that he was not afraid to suck. So we appreciate
story of my life.
That's why we invited him.
That's why we invited him, to make us all look better. So I am going to share my screen here. Okay. Llama Llama. Ohio student Mendel Weinstock joined his sister Riva joked with his sister Riva that when she got married, he would bring a llama to the wedding as his +1. So when Riva tied the knot, Mendel made good on his promise, showing up with a rented llama named Shocky, wearing a custom-made tuxedo. Riva was unamused, but said, "When my brother puts his mind to something, he gets it done." I can't do an Ohio accent. I don't know what that sounds like. Mendel spent $400 to rent the llama, but said it was worth every penny. Shocky spent about 30 minutes taking photos with amused guests outside the venue, but friends who were in on the joke seated 2 inflatable llamas at one of the tables inside. Riva said she'll get her revenge. He should sleep with one eye open. So llama as a wedding guest is our first story. Is anybody ready to go, or should I pick on someone?
I have an idea.
Like right.
I'm not afraid to suck. Okay. His sister decides to go prank him. Before the honeymoon, she and her fiance sneak to his house, and they happen upon thugs who have killed their brother and taken the llama. And they then have to go in pursuit to find out why they wanted the llama and what was special about it. And it turns into an archaeological mystery, sort of National Treasure style, where the llama it has been born with a birthmark under its fur, and there's a map to a temple in Peru, blah, blah, blah. So a little Indiana Jones fantasy, a little bit of thriller, a little mystery, and nobody has sex with the llama. Sorry, Nick.
You lost me. I'm out.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, you had me until the end there. I think I'm not going to read this book now. Someone needs to have sex with the llama, apparently.
That's not the book I'm looking for. All right, let me put this back up here for a second. All right, so Nick or Kevin or RA, would anyone like to volunteer to go next with the llama story?
I got something decent, I think. What we're dealing with here, folks, is a very, very straightforward, traditional drug running scheme. The llama that ends up, is it Riva that he purchases? No.
Shocky was the name of the llama.
Mendel purchases is actually an Argentinian llama, it was a Peruvian llama. And this Peruvian llama is owned by a company that's actually running drugs into the United States by having the llama ingest the drugs, and then they send it, and they've actually calculated it out. So like within a day and a half, the drugs will exit the llama. And that happens right after this. Exactly. Yeah. I'm trying to keep it PG, we got Dave here. I figured F-bombs are going to be dropped pretty soon. So I figured I could keep it PG. Yeah. And so basically the story ends right before the story that you read, Jim, ends right before the llama exits its drug cache, its booty.
Not again.
I told you he has a fixation.
And so that's what the story is actually a drug running llama, and we're right at the beginning. Where you've basically just read the first act of this 4-act play, and right after this wedding ends, the llama shats all over the carpet a bunch of drugs, and we find a bunch of people trying to come collect the bounty from the booty from the booty, I should say. The booty booty.
My goodness, that's gross. Well, thank you, Nick.
All right. I think I got one. If you want me to go,
You don't
Kevin,
need to
I'll
go. I mean, I clearly won. I don't think you need to go now.
It was
Nailed it.
amazing.
Thank you.
We're all battling for second right now. So I think that we are. I think we're dealing with a case of a trickster god. Okay. So in the Midwest, Minnesota, Ohio, places like that, they were settled by really hardy Scandinavian and European people. And, very Neil Gaiman-esque, they brought some of their gods with them. And obviously they brought Loki with them. And so the young man, the brother, loves his sister very much. They make the story out to be where he's kind of giving her a hard time, but he really loves her. And 5 years ago, she had a hard breakup and she was going through a hard time and she was just deep in depression. And he wanted to do anything he could do to help her. And so he struck up a bargain with Loki and said, I want you to find someone for my sister to marry. She's all I care about in the world. You need to take care of her for me. And Loki goes, all right, no problem. But if I do that, you're going to have to take a llama to her wedding. And that's Loki's payment. He just wants to see a llama at this wedding with this woman because Loki gets his jollies because he knows the sister was so serious about the wedding. She'd been planning it, and she wanted everything perfect. And so he's just getting his thrills on kind of basically making fun out of the whole day. So everyone got what they want. Loki got a good laugh. The brother got his sister a husband, and the sister got a man. So.
All right. Very nice. All right, Mr. Tumlinson, you are the last to go in the first round.
All right.
What
You would
do got
think
for
that'd
us?
give me some kind of advantage, but it has
You'd
not.
think.
Just steal Nick's idea. Yeah. Put a dress on it. No. Okay. So I think this is a case of parallel realities merging. The joke was that this guy Mendel was going to bring this llama to the wedding. That was the gag. And he really didn't have any intention of following through with it until he saw llamas literally being offered up for rent just randomly one day. And so he plops down his $400 and the llama attends the wedding with him. But unbeknownst to our hero, the llama is actually an agent from a parallel world where llamas are actually super intelligent and they're looking to invade our world. And so this is their end. They're doing this is sort of a pre-scout mission, and the llama has infiltrated our culture and is looking at our mating rituals so that they know how best to enslave us.
Wow, I like it. Yeah, that's a nice dun there. I already put it up.
Sorry,
there,
is
one more
just
time.
to be clear, is the mating ritual, is that the only step needed to enslave an entire race?
They're
Like,
looking.
entire civilization of people?
They're
Like, you
llamas.
understand
This
the
is-
mating ritual, and then all of a sudden you're
Yeah,
ready to enslave.
this is how llamas think. It's all about the mating.
Okay.
And
So
by
it's
the way,
really
the
getting the
title-
psychology of the llama, right?
The title of this story is
I can hear everyone except Kevin, so I assume that was an awesome idea. For some reason, I can't hear anything.
Why
you
is
said.
it-
What did I tell you about him learning how to use a computer?
It was the same thing last time we did something. So the name of this story, by the way, is Miyama Llama.
No,
Very nice.
no, because
okay.
they're spelled the same. You have to pronounce them the same. It'd be Miyama Yama.
So if you are watching, throw a comment down there and let us know who you think won that round. And while I'm going to wait a few seconds for that, because I forgot a really important piece of housekeeping at the top of the show, and that is the week 5 winner. Who won last week? And Nick is pointing at himself. Kevin is pointing at himself. Dave wasn't here, but Mr. R.A. McGee is the week 5 winner. Far and away, had way more comments.
Wait, did you count
than
all
anyone.
of his alter egos votes for him? Because she That voted was for him Nick. 20 times. That was
Yeah,
Nick
did
with
you-
the
that
alter
was Nick.
ego. My
Did you
better
throw out
half
all the-
voted once, sir.
He just stole all my ideas. Did you throw all those out? Because
So
We threw your ideals out, Nick. Don't worry.
congratulations, R.A. Now I'm going to move on to story number
Yay.
2. This is called
Yay.
Fire of Pig Poop. Firefighters were called to a farm near Leeds in England to put out a fire in a large pig pen. At this particular farm, the pigs wear pedometers to prove their free range, but one of those gadgets was the probable cause of the blaze, firefighters said. They theorized that one of the pigs ate one of the pedometers, then passed it in its excrement, which actually means poop. sparking a fire in the pen's hay. The culprit was the copper in the battery reacting with the pig droppings. No pigs were hurt in the fire. So who would like to go first with this amazing story prompt? Where could you take this tale of pig poop and fire? And I don't see anybody leaping. I'm going to have to call on somebody. Kevin.
Okay. I was prepared for that. What we have here, and I'm sorry that David Wood can't hear me. He clearly can't hear me. What we've got here is an experiment in the development of a new fuel source. Somebody is out manipulating these pig farms, experimenting, trying to find ways to turn the pigs into fuel generators so that we can load them onto spaceships and fuel our exploration of the solar system. So they're tinkering with things, and that tinkering alerted authorities to their presence by causing this fire on the pig farm. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right.
I'm trying to appeal to Lisa Badger, who never votes for me.
Well, it sounds like we all need to take a lesson from RA and just copy his storytelling style, because he is killing it.
I'll go next if nobody else has anything.
What you got, RA?
So this is, I think that we are dealing with a very sophisticated criminal syndicate. All right. And that they are making meth. Okay. And the reason why they own this pig farm, like they exist in the city, obviously, but they own a big pig farm on the outside of town, because if Snatch taught me anything, it's that, pigs will eat anything, And so this is where they dispose of their problems, so they make the drugs there, they take the drugs into town, they sell them. Whenever they have someone that ODs or someone who's moving on their turf, they take them back to the farm and then they feed them to the pigs. And what blew up was actually a meth still, and they had to try to hide it by saying that it was the pedometer from the pig. But I think we've got one intrepid cop who is a little bit of a rube, but they follow the trail to the big city and team up with a detective there, and they crack this mystery. So it's all about meth and body disposal.
All right. Okay. Meth and body disposal and pig poop. Meth and pig poop may be the title of this episode. We'll see.
Okay, I got something. We ready?
Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Or if you guys want to hear the winner, I mean, I can go ahead and go, or I can wait. It's up to you. So what we're dealing with here, again, is a classic story of the copper market surge in pricing. Shut up! Just give me a chance, man. Just
It's a good thing we're talking about pig poop, is all I'm saying.
look. It's just like people stealing catalytic converters because of the precious metals inside, right? It's the same sort of thing. These pigometers, is that what we're calling them?
Pigometers?
Man.
I got this guy.
I just waiting for you to say poop again, bro.
I am
Or
in.
booty.
And that's my story. Dave, your turn.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Nah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good. It's really good. I think. Okay, so the farmer is in on this with the pigometer producers, because they're using copper that is actually.
I'm gonna have to mute RA.
He still has a Christmas tree up. What are you doing, man? Are you early or late?
Oh, I keep them up all the time, man. It's a New Year's bush, and it's a Valentine vine, and it's
Arbor Day.
Yeah, I keep them up all the time, man. I love them. They make me happy.
I like it. Dude, that's cool. You do you, man. And I'm gonna do me, which is my story right now. So don't interrupt me.
I'm
And
sorry.
Dom is
I'm
a
going
good-
on mute.
I'm just kidding. No.
I'm going on mute.
Basically, so the farmer has figured out a plot to be able to not only sell these pieces of copper on the copper market, which is a just thriving business in Ohio or in England, wherever this is. The last one was Ohio, right? This is England, Leeds.
Mhm.
copper's big right now, and this company has been sitting on a fortune of copper because they bought it long ago. But they've been making their pigometers and selling them to the farmer, and the farmer has been using them. And then they both realized that this copper is actually worth a lot more money now. But because of laws, this company can't actually take the copper back out and sell it again. So they have to figure out some kind of plot to be able to get the copper back into circulation. So the farmer has realized that not only it's basically a double indemnity sort of deal, right? Where he can sell the copper on the open market, share the profits with the company that made the pigometers, and then, and I'm going to keep saying pigometer because I know Ara is trying. I can actually, he's muted, but I can still hear him laughing. I can hear it in my mind. It's great. But then he actually can get the fire insurance payout from the damage that was caused by that. So that's the plot here. It's why are you posting stuff about people liking Kevin? Damn it! I want to win something. Okay, somebody give me a point. That's my story. I'm shut up now.
You should be streaming on Pornhub. You'll get all the votes there.
I never told you I wasn't.
All right, so I think Kevin, have you gone? Did you go?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just me left.
It's just Dave. Dave, do you want to go?
In other words, Kevin, your story was very memorable.
Yes, I've clearly
I
won
hope
this
I don't
round.
duplicate Kevin's story since unfortunately I can't hear him, but that's okay. That's how I really want it. Anyway, excuse me. I'm thinking a Midsummer Murder style story where the crime scene at the pig pen is the inciting event, and we investigate rival pig farmers, we investigate the manufacturers, we investigate the neighbors, throw in some red herrings, but in the end it comes down to, what most British mysteries are, which is incest and adultery. So if you watch enough early Midsummer Murders, you would be convinced that everyone in a village is sleeping with their sister and their uncle, and it's weird.
Downton Abbey enters the chat.
Let's leave entering out of this, please.
I like the concept of the rival pig farmers. That's some interesting fertile ground to explore there.
And you could have poachers who, maybe they had an issue with poachers who also kill their pigs and stuff. So, yeah, you can bring in all the locals. You can throw in some red herrings with cults and druids and Romans and all that stuff. But in the end, it's just jealousy and sex. And
we
money.
thought it was the druids, but it was just sex.
Yeah.
Kevin keeps lifting his lawn gnome in front of the camera for some reason.
His name is
not
Roman.
I'm
clear.
not doing anything.
And David said Roman, so Kevin had to bring Roman into it.
Roman had to show up. There you go.
All right, moving on. This one's a little long, but it's got a great punchline at the end.
That's
I
what
enjoy.
she said.
Yep. The Select Board of Croydon, New Hampshire ruled unexpectedly that it would abolish the town police department and rely instead on the New Hampshire State Police for law enforcement. Croydon Police Chief Richard Lee, the sole member of the police department for almost 20 years, was asked to turn in his equipment, including his uniform, badge, and the keys to his police cruiser. So at the meeting's conclusion, Lee faced the board president and gave them my uniform shirt. I gave them my turtleneck. I gave them my ballistic vest. I took off my pants and walked out the door. Lee walked about a mile in 26-degree temperatures before his wife picked him up. The board released a statement saying the decision was an action based on value for the cost of the department. Resident Rick Sampson told reporters, "What kind of town lets their chief of police walk out in a snowstorm in his underwear?" And I researched a New Hampshire accent a little bit, and it was way too far out of my comfort range. So no trigger warning for a bad accent on that one. All right, who would like to talk about the police chief in this town walking out into the snowy weather in his underwear after being fired from his job to 20 years? Is it too much of a bummer? Is it too much of a downer?
Did he
No,
die?
I think he's evil and has secrets to hide, so I'm happy.
Dave sees this as justice. So who wants to go first? Am I going to have to pick on somebody? Let's see who we got here.
I went first last time, so
I can go. I got something, got a little bit, not much.
Let's go, Nick.
So what we got here, guys, is a classic ploy, based in revenge, okay, and trying to keep somebody silent. And now this guy, chief of police in a small town, only officer on the force, meaning this town is a very, 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 very attractive target for some mafia activity from a nearby large town. It may not exist in New Hampshire, I don't know. And so the mafia has chosen and targeted this town because they only have one police officer and only one person on the entire force to do their business. And so what happens is they do their business, they kill who they need to kill, but the problem is this guy's a really good cop, and he finds out what happened. He finds out what they did, and he says, "I'm coming after you guys." And they say, "Well, here's the deal, man. If we kill you, then the federal government will now, take notice because we killed the chief of police in a small town. So we're gonna let you live, but we're also gonna watch you. We're gonna track your family. And what you need to do is resign your post, close the police department completely, and you need to make it seem like you're a little bit unhinged when you do it. So you need to take off all your clothes at the station and then walk naked, essentially, for 26 miles, where you may die.
There will be a llama waiting for you at the other end.
Hey.
So let the record show, Dave stole my story. Clearly, that's exactly where I was going to go with it. Probably something in his butt too. I don't know, but anyway, that's basically what happened. The deal is he has to resign everything and give away his prized job and reputation and become a little bit unhinged in order for him to live with his family and wife, in safety. And he does that, but of course, his wife discovers him on the road a mile away. Dun, dun. I'm trying to get a dun dun dun. There you go. Thank you.
Dun dun dun.
I try to earn it.
So I like the twist. The big staged walkout, the big walkout was a staged ruse to help sell the corruption in town. Very nice. Let me put this back.
It's obvious. It's not obvious to you guys. It was obvious to me. As soon as
obviously, the real story here.
Mafia staged walkout of naked police officer.
All right. So who would like to go next? I'll sit here for a few seconds staring at everyone. Let me see who looks the most.
I've got an idea.
Okay.
Dave, go ahead.
Okay. I'm thinking begins the either historical prologue, because that's what I do, and then the evening prior to this event, he is called to the nursing home to meet his father-in-law, who is the former chief of police. His father-in-law confesses something that horrifies him, but the reader doesn't know what it is, and he works with his wife, the daughter of this old man, to cover up a secret that's hidden within the actual old building. The wife has to get something out while he's creating a big distraction by doing his big dramatic thing and the naked thing in the media. And so, and they're all distracted. She steals the thing, and they have promised the father that they won't open this box. They're going to deliver it to a certain place. And then depending on what I could find in my research for this part of the country, we could either go in like Salem witch trials direction with witches. We could go a horror direction. We could go thriller. But I think that that's the way I would go, is that there's a secret. Maybe the father-in-law is murdered before they can take this box to him, and then they open it, and what's inside, they try to solve the mystery themselves and take it whichever genre seems most exciting for you at the time.
Hey, you're not allowed to make the audience do the work, Dave. You have to actually give us the story. You
No,
can't
I
be
want
like,
you to
okay,
do
so
it.
we're going to take the direction we're going to take is a really, really good story. And that's my story.
It's going to be great.
So I should
very
get the
best
points for
story.
that. We're going to go real Christopher
right.
Nolan style.
All right. Knowing me, it would probably end up being a modern day thriller with something either back to colonial America with some big secret they want to cover up, or there's a cult left over from the witch trial days, and there will be some archaeology and thrills.
All right. Dave's good at this. He's making all you guys look bad. Who would like to go next? Have you just got Ari and Kevin, right?
I'll go. Okay. So, and I know Dave can't hear me. That's a bummer. So the reality in this town is that they, over the past year or two,
what would Terry Pratchett do with this story?
Everyone on this board actually agreed to and brought in an organization that's essentially they're covering it up, but they're essentially dumping toxic waste in this area. And this board is complicit with the whole thing. They're covering the whole thing up. And the chief of police has found this out. He's the only person on the police force, but he's found this out. He knows the truth behind this, and he's confronted everyone. And in return, they're asking him to leave the board. But one of the reasons this is a hot button for him is that his wife has actually developed cancer, and a very rare form of cancer, and is on her way out. and he has just had it with this group. So when he leaves, that's his protest. He's not just walking away from that job. He's walking away from everything that stands for, because he's about to go full revenant on all these people. His wife picks him up and then takes him home. And then shortly after that, she passes, and that's the final straw. So he goes, what's the Revenant was my first reference. What was the other one? No Country for Old Men. He goes full on and starts taking this council out, taking out the guys responsible for dumping this toxic waste into his town that took, this stuff that took out his wife and is taking out other people in his town. He's reclaiming the town. That's my story.
On a scale of 0 to the Revenant, how angry is your character?
He's very,
full Revenant.
He's full Revenant.
All right, Mr. R.A., let me put this up here for a couple seconds. You can refresh your memory on the names, and then we need your story, sir.
All right. So what I think this is Richard Lee is, the lone person standing in the face of a very corrupt town. The corruption is deep, and it's from the board to the city council. Everyone who's in charge is corrupt, and he's doing everything that he can to try to fight this corruption. Where they're taking people's land and they're selling it to developers and things like that. And so he's trying to uncover that. People go missing. He's trying to uncover everything the best that he can, but he keeps getting stonewalled every chance that he gets because everybody's in charge and he's the only cop, right? So what he does is, you notice that it said the state police were going to take over policing the area. His roommate from college is the captain of the state police in the area. So his roommate says, well, if you want to really get to the bottom of all this, come join us and we'll give you free reign to do what you want. And you'll have a better jurisdiction, yada, yada, yada. So Rick quits in a big show, basically telling everybody to F off, and he leaves and he goes to work for the state police. And so he can continue his investigation, but the twist is that his roommate, who his new boss, is actually in on it. He's the kingpin running everything. Hey, I got one. He's the kingpin running everything, and he hired Rick so he could keep an eye on him and basically lead him astray so that the power brokers in the town don't kill Rick. And so that's kind of what I would do like that.
All right. So let us know in the comments, you watching and listening, let us know in the comments which story you think is the best one. And we only have one more story today. We're coming up on half an hour, so this will be the last one. And I do have a bad accent coming for this one. Sorry. It's just how it goes. Crime is the worst deodorant. Police in Speyer, Germany, gave chase after they were passed by a car driving at high speed with its lights off. The suspect, a 26-year-old man, pulled over and ran from the car, leaving a trail of scent that was so distinct that officers said they were able to follow it from the car to the man who was hiding behind a hedge. Due to the cloud of perfumes that was detected inside the car and on the man, police said, it was possible to identify him as the driver. His breath didn't smell quite as good, though. He was far over the legal alcohol limit. Okay, so what we got here is a guy who was all gassed, some German guy was all gassed up on probably DMT and perfume, and he's driving his car, crashes it, and runs off, and they didn't even need a police dog. They just smelled that Drakkar Noir coming out of the hedges, raced over there. Who among you is brave enough to be the first to tackle this story?
I'll do it.
I think I'll have to allow you because I've gone first before. But if you say the word Nazi, I'm gonna probably murder you.
I don't do that.
Okay.
Sir. That's not how I get down.
All right.
Okay. So I think that
Don't get down as a Nazi.
No, I don't get down like that. I think that our what's the guy's name? The guy, the runner.
There was
there was no name. Okay, we'll call him Hans. So I think Hans
and
is
Franz.
Exactly.
Hans Wiener Schnitzel.
Pump you up. All right. So I think that Hans is a kind of a simple guy, and that the best job that he could find was as a custodial staff at the high-tech lab in town. Okay. And I think that Hans is kind of like a lawnmower man situation. Like he's in town, he's in there all the time. You know, he sees all these things they're working on. He doesn't understand them. He doesn't really get it. And so what he decides is that they're working on a serum that he wants to take. He wants to test it. He wants to see if it can affect him in some kind of way. Well, Hans doesn't realize that they're not working on things to make people smarter. They're working on ways for people to metabolize pure adrenaline faster. They're trying to make a better, faster, stronger, more durable weapon. And so Hans takes the aerosol version of this, unbeknownst to everyone running the program, and he's just geeked out of his mind. He's running wide open, gets out in the car, he's running around, he gets in the car, he's hauling ass, trying to get where he's going. And when the cops come, he gets scared because he knows, like, this is the only job I've got. I've got these, I stole from them and I'm going to get in trouble. So when he gets out of the car, he takes off running, and they're smelling his body metabolizing the adrenaline. That's what the smell is. And that's why it's so overwhelmingly powerful. And ultimately, that's why they found him, because he crashed. He didn't have the second. It's like a binary agent. So he didn't have the second part of the drug that helped him come down. And so he just kind of crashed. And I think that's what's going on with Hans over in Germany. So
I love that it's a superhero origin story, except instead of a radioactive spider, it's hairspray.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I thought the aerosol would look a little sexier, like they put it, but hairspray works, man.
All right, let me put the story back up here. Well done, RA. Who would like to go next?
If no one else going, I'll go.
Kevin, what do you got?
All right. What we have here is a case of the undead. Our good buddy woke up one day having not woken up at all. He went out and partied with some friends and got a little drunk. And when he woke up the next morning, his body was starting to decay and smell, and he couldn't figure out what was going on until reports of strange behavior in cemeteries and things started to come on the news. And he discovers that he is the undead and slowly rotting. And so he covers up the smell with a bunch of perfume and everything he can find, and he's rushing to try to find help. So when he's pulled over, the alcohol they detect on his breath is actually what killed him. And then the smell that they are smelling is what's covering up the reality of his scenario. And while he is imprisoned, while he is in jail for driving under the influence, he fully turns and starts to turn others. And when they come to retrieve him from the cell, that's when the zombie apocalypse begins.
Very nice. I like that one. That gets a dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun.
All right. I'll let Dave go last.
Okay.
I think what we have here is a classic story. Case of just neo-Nazis.
Zombie llamas.
Neo-Nazi llamas.
Zombie
llama.
Zombie bar mitzvah. It is the classic case of the neo-Nazis trying to rise again to power, and they're doing it in a very strategic and what's the word I'm trying to think of?
Systematic.
No, never mind. In a place that's very going to make a statement.
Aren't you a writer?
Not today. I'm not.
How many beers has it been?
Yeah, that was tea. What they're doing is trying to improve on the formula that that the Holocaust, SS, and Nazi Germany regime used in gas chambers. And so the way they're doing that is by adding different chemicals to the equation. Now, what happens is one of the employees accidentally mixes in the active ingredient in Axe body spray, because I'm not a chemist, even though I'm a writer, whatever that is, and creates this super intense perfume, deodorant smelling type thing that gets all over him. And he has to essentially race across the country on the Autobahn to I don't know, to get it off and take a shower. I don't know. But he's driving and he gets pulled over, and they smell him, and it's so intense and strong that now they have a lead as to the neo-Nazi regime trying to rise again in power in Germany. So there, Nazi story. We have never mentioned Nazis on the show, so
Nice.
I felt it was necessary.
You know, it's
Let the
just
votes
like,
roll in.
what's that law about arguments in the comments that invariably someone
Godwin's law.
mentioning Hitler approaches one. So in Story on the Spot, apparently takes 6 episodes before the Nazis come out. But also, Nick, I'm pretty sure the active ingredient in Axe is Axiom, the Axiom chemical.
Perhaps you're correct.
Perhaps. All right, Dave, bring us home with the final pitch for the final story prompt of episode number 6.
Dun, dun,
All right.
dun.
No one can agree on what this guy smells like, only that he has a powerful scent and that everyone is drawn to it in a different way. And it seems to come and go, and the guy's really disoriented and weird. So they pass him off back at the station to the most junior of all the detectives. He's a conspiracy theorist. Nobody really respects him that much. And as they're questioning this guy, he glances over and realizes there's something a little bit wrong with the guy's reflection in the mirrored window. It's not that he has none, but it's not right. But nobody's paying this guy any attention. In the process of investigating some of the other oddities that he starts finding about this confused man, it leads to experiments that are being done that are based on finding some actual vampires and trying to replicate their DNA, their biology, things like that. That's why he's got this. This guy is malfunctioning, though. He's a failed experiment. That's why he sporadically has this powerful scent that different people are drawn to. That's why he doesn't always have a reflection. And they find grave robbing. They follow the clues and eventually find that Vlad the Impaler is still alive and trying to build an army.
Wow. I like that nobody can agree on what he smells like. Like it's a Laurel versus Yanny situation. It's like, I think he smells like lilacs.
The
I
dress
think
is blue.
like dog crap.
It's a blue gold dress.
The blue gold dress. All right, everyone. That's our time. I mean, not really. We could theoretically keep going forever if we wanted to, but that I'm deciding arbitrarily that as the arbiter that is our time. And I really want to thank Dave Wood for showing up today. And let me put on our banner that's got our websites. Dave, sorry, your what's your website, Dave? So
DavidWoodWeb.com. But if you
David
just Google David Wood adventure author, you'll find me.
David Wood Web. Web is also another word for the internet. That's why.
Let the record also show Jim didn't have enough time to type any information into that banner before the show started. He just couldn't find the minute.
It didn't.
The portion of a minute it would take to do that. So we love having you on the show, Dave. Clearly.
Well, thank you.
We spent a lot of time preparing for this.
I'm deeply wounded. I'll probably cry when this is over.
Oh, God, do I have to edit the stupid banner just to throw it up there? So he was the only one who got to say his website.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in and have a great day.
Yep.
See ya.